guys, today we're going to be talking about collecting like terms. It also could be called combining like terms, or as I like to call it, putting your friends together. Alright, so this is Ohio Standard for grade 8. This falls under expressions and equations, and this is standard 8, which means grade 8, EE, which means expressions and equations, and .7. So this would be the 7th standard that we would be learning for grade 8 mathematics. Alright, so combining like terms is something that kids sometimes get confused about because it's letters and numbers put together. So I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to make sure that we're able to understand that combining like terms doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get one number for an answer. You're not solving a math problem. You're not going to get to the end and have an answer. All you're doing is moving things around. So we're going to need some manipulatives for this. So learning coaches, if you would have these items ready, it is going to really help your student catch on to this concept a lot more quickly. So I'm going to be using some colored blocks. Pick these up at the Dollar Tree. I'm going to be using some different colored markers over here on my whiteboard. But the most important thing you need at home is just simply some colored pencils. So if you could have 3 or 4 colors of colored pencils, that is one of the key things that we're going to use to understand how to collect like terms. Alright, so first of all, let's look at our worksheet that this is our assignment for today. This is how I'm going to be making sure that you understand. This is what you will be graded on. So let's work through some of these problems together. First of all, I'd like you to just fold your worksheet because there's 2 different kinds of problems here. So the top half are some very simple ones, and then when we get to the bottom half, we're actually going to use a few different tricks. But let's do a review, and let's work on some of these top ones first. All right, let's look at number 1. X plus 2x. Okay? X and 2x are the same because they have the x. I can add those together. If you remember, anytime we have an x just by itself, you can pretend that there's a 1 in front of that. So all you're doing here is adding 1 plus 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. So my answer is simply 3x. All right? Now, let's look at number 10. Number 10 says x squared plus 2x squared. Again, all we're doing here is putting our friends together, putting things that are alike together. X squared, x squared. Good to go. So I have an imaginary 1 here. 1 plus 2 is 3x squared. Simple. You with me so far? Let me grab my eraser. Alright, so that's the top part of the worksheet. Now if you would just flip down to the bottom half of the worksheet. These problems get a little bit more complicated, so I like to use things like colors or symbols or even our blocks to put them together. Let's look at number 13. You have 2x squared plus, that one's different, isn't it? It doesn't have the square. So we're going to change colors. 2x plus x squared plus x. Okay? Now, if you were a kid that liked cookies, I would explain it to you like this. I would say x squared and x squared are Oreos. You could put them together. X squared plus x squared, remember there's the imaginary 1 there. 2 plus 1 is 3x squared. Alright? Now, if you don't like Oreos and you like Nutter Butters, you know you can't put those cookies on the same plate. So we're going to have a different pile of cookies now because 2x plus x are Nutter Butters. They can't go with my Oreos. So 2x plus, don't forget the imaginary 1, is 3x. And that is your answer. That is as far as we can go with this problem. We are collecting like terms. Remember our standard over here? Standard 8.EE.7, collecting like terms. We are not solving an equation. If the equation said solve, we might find a number and we would put it in for x, and it might say something like x equals 3, and so every place you saw an x, you would be putting that 3 in. That's not what our instructions say to do. They simply say combine like terms. So you might say, Miss Ripato, that's a really big answer. That's okay. You're not solving a problem. You're not solving an equation. You're combining like terms. This is one of the many scaffolds of algebra. All right? So parents, learning coaches at home, something I'd like for you to do to help your student understand this is just grab some colored pencils, okay? Maybe you could do a few with the student and then let them do them on their own. So in this case, we're going to use green for anything we see with an x squared. And you know what? When I first start teaching this, when kids first start getting this, I just go ahead and have them color code the whole worksheet. Anything that you see with x squared, just go ahead and color in one specific color. All right? And then pick a different color. So for y, we're going to choose yellow. Anytime you see a y by itself, then you're just going to make that yellow. All our y's are going to make yellow. All right, and then we're going to have some regular x's, and we're going to make those blue. Go through your whole worksheet at the beginning and find anything that's an x by itself, not with a coefficient in it. All right, and we're going to color those blue. This is going to be a great visual reminder for students that things that are the same color can go together. Things that are not the same color cannot go together. If you were a kid who liked cars, I might say to you, all the blue cars go in one garage, but all the yellow cars can't park in that garage. They have to park in a different garage. If you were a kid that liked animals, I might say to you, all the green x squareds are cats. All the blues are dogs. All the yellows are crocodiles. They can't go in the same pen together. They can't be friends. They can't be in the same area. So, let's look at problem number 19. Okay, I got these laid out for you. Number 19 says 2x squared plus 3 plus 3x minus 1. Oh no. I only see one thing that can go together. Alright, so let's work that one out up here. Again, this is problem number 19. And if you use the colors, you have a great visual reminder of what you can put together and what you can. You have 2x squared plus 3 plus, okay, that's purple. I don't like it because it's not enough. Plus 3x minus 1. So again, the only things we can put together are the things that are in the same color. So we have plus 3 and minus 1. Right? Plus 3 minus 1 is plus 2. Everything else I can't change. I can only combine like terms. So I'm going to take this and drop it straight down. I'm going to take this and drop it straight down. Remember to take the same sign. You're going to keep the sign the same. Okay? And so the answer to our problem, number 19, the answer, you're done. Your answer is 2x squared plus 3x plus 2. Oh, that's not an answer. Yes, it is. You have combined your like terms, you have simplified this problem as much as you can, and you have found the answer. Not the solution, you have combined like terms. Okay, so I've demonstrated some for you. I've given you some tips on how to color code your worksheet so it will be a visual reminder of what you can put together and what you can't. Now, let's have you do some on your own.